Monkey Boo's colorful adventure. Once upon a time in the colorful jungle lived a clever little monkey named Boo. Boo was always curious about the colors of the world around him. He loved waking up every morning to the green leaves, blue sky, and bright yellow sun. One morning, as Boo woke up, he noticed something unusual. The colors around him were suddenly dull and faded, like they had lost their shine. Boo was worried and wondered what had happened. He decided to find out by exploring his jungle home. Carrying a small bag, Boo started his colorful adventure. His first stop was at the green grasslands. He noticed that the once vibrant grass was now a pale shade of green. Boo thought, maybe I can restore the color to the grass. He picked a leaf and put it in his bag, hoping it might help. Next, Boo visited his friend, Kara the canary, who lived in the sky blue cloud castle. Kara was known for her vibrant yellow feathers. But Kara was worried too. Her yellow feathers were losing their shine, her castle was less blue, and the sky was not as bright. Boo explained his plan and Kara decided to join. They left together, Boo's bag now filled with a piece of cloud and one of Kara's feathers. The subsequent destination on the journey brought them to the Red River, Ruby, the red fish. Ruby's reputation preceded her, thanks to her resplendent crimson scales that shimmered like precious gems. But the river water was not its usual radiant red. Boo and Kara mission to Ruby, who excitedly agreed to join them. As they continued their journey, they collected a stone from the riverbed, hoping it would help restore the colors. They reached the purple peaks next, home to Pippa the parrot. Pippa, who had was sad because her color too. Like the others, Pippa agreed to join Boo's quest. They gathered a pebble and one of Pippa's feathers before continuing their journey. Finally, they arrived at Orange Orchard, home to Oscar the owl. The usually bright orange trees were now dull, just like the other locations. Like his new friends, Oscar agreed to help. They took an orange and a feather from Oscar before setting off for their home. Once they returned, Boo took out all the items from his bag. He laid them out and then started thinking of a way to bring back the colors. Suddenly, he had an idea. Each friend should touch their respective item and wish for the colors to return. One by one, they each made their wish. As they touched their item, they remembered how vibrant and happy their homes used to be. Suddenly, a miraculous thing happened. The items began to glow in their respective colors. Red, blue, green, purple, and orange light filled the jungle. The glow then spread throughout the whole jungle. One by one, the colors returned to their original vibrancy. The green began lush and vibrant. The sky around the castle was a bright, cheerful blue. The red river glistened in its radiant shade. The purple peaks were once again filled with bright purple hues. And Oscar's orange orchard was once again a beautiful shade of orange, making Oscar's feathers shine even more brightly. Their hearts filled with joy and amusement, the friends cheered and celebrated. Their mission was successful, and their home was colorful again. The jungle inhabitants rejoiced in their newly restored home. Boo, Kara, Ruby, Pippa, and Oscar were hailed as heroes. From that day on, Boo and his friends took care of their jungle home, making sure to protect and preserve the vibrant colors. And every time Boo woke up to the green leaves, blue sky, and bright yellow sun, he'd smile, grateful for the colorful world around him. This adventure made Boo and his friends realize the importance of their vibrant world. And And so, they lived happily, cherishing the colors of the jungle. Boo's colorful adventure was a tale of curiosity, friendship, and the joy of a bright and vibrant world. And it's a tale that is still told in the jungle, even today. A frog's journey to touch the skies. Once upon a time in a tiny lily pad lived a small frog named Fribbit. Fribbit was always full of energy, always wishing to leap higher than any other frog in the pond. Fribbit's favorite pastime was to watch the clouds float through the sky. He often wondered how it would feel to soar among them, but he was just a tiny frog. Fribbit's mother, Fribbella, always reassured him that he was perfect just the way he was, but Fribbit yearned for more. He didn't just want to sit on his lily pad all day. One day, a wise old turtle named Torty came to the pond. Fribbit was fascinated by Torty's stories of traveling and seeing new places. He wondered if he could do the same. Torty noticed Fribbit's curiosity and asked him about his dreams. Fribbit told Torty about his desire to leap higher and explore the world beyond the pond. Torty was touched by Fribbit's ambition and decided to help him. He told Fribbit that in order to leap higher, he must train and strengthen his tiny legs. Fribbit was motivated. Every day, he practiced jumping from lily pad to lily pad, always aiming to jump a little bit higher than the last time. He was determined to reach his goal. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Fribbit's leap started to get higher and farther. He could see further than he had ever seen before. One day, Fribbit saw a tall tree on the other side of the pond. He dreamed of leaping onto its highest branches and looking over the whole pond. The idea scared Fribbit, but he was also excited. He knew that if he could make it to the top of the tree, he would fulfill his dream of soaring among the clouds. The next day, Fribbit woke up early and made his way to the base of the tree. The tree seemed so much taller from the ground, but Fribbit was ready. He took a deep breath and leapt onto the first branch. His heart was pounding, but he was determined. He leapt from branch to branch, slowly climbing upwards. As Fribbit climbed higher, he became scared. The ground was so far away and the wind was stronger up in the tree. He wanted to give up and leap back down to the safety of his lily pad. But then he remembered his dream and how far he had come. He remembered Torty's words and his own determination. He took another deep breath, summoned his courage, and leapt higher. Fribbit continued to climb higher and higher. His muscles ached, but he didn't stop. He was so close to reaching the top that he could almost touch the clouds. Fribbit's family and friends watched from the pond below, cheering him on. He could hear their voices carried by the wind as he made the final leap onto the highest branch. Fribbit was overjoyed. He could see the entire pond from up here, the lily pads, the other frogs, and even Torty. He felt like he was soaring among the clouds just as he had dreamed. Being up so high, he realized that the world was so much bigger than his little pond. He promised himself that he would explore more, leap to new places, see new things. With newfound courage, Fribbit leapt back down from the tree, greeted by cheers from his family and friends. He made a promise to himself to continue training, pushing his boundaries. Every day, Fribbit trained harder, always aiming to leap higher. He had seen the world from above, and he yearned to explore it more. His journey had only just begun. He would always remember the day he leapt to the top of the tree, and the turtle who had encouraged him. He wouldn't let fear hold him back. He was Fribbit, the frog who leapt to new heights. Fribbit's story spread throughout the pond, inspiring other young frogs to dream big and leap higher. They all looked up to Fribbit, who had dared to leap beyond what was known. One day, a young frog named Ribbit approached Fribbit. He was inspired by Fribbit's story and wanted to leap just as high. Fribbit smiled, ready to pass on his wisdom. Fribbit told Ribbit about his journey, about the training and perseverance. He told him about the fear and the courage. He told him to always dream big and never give up. Ribbit listened with wide eyes, inspired by Fribbit's story. He had a newfound respect for Fribbit and promised to train hard and dream big, just like Fribbit had done. And so, Fribbit's legacy lived on. His story inspired many frogs to dream big and reach for the skies. The pond was no longer just a pond, but a place of dreams and possibilities. Time went by, but Fribbit's story never faded. It was passed down from generation to generation, inspiring every new frog to dream big and leap high. As for Fribbit, he never stopped exploring. He leapt higher, saw more places, met more creatures. His life was an adventure, and he lived it to the fullest. Fribbit's leap was more than just a leap. It was a leap of faith, a leap of courage, a leap of determination. He showed everyone that even a tiny frog could reach the clouds. He proved that dreams do come true, that there are no limits when you have determination and courage. And most of all, he proved that anyone could take a leap to new heights. Now, whenever a tiny frog feels scared or unsure about reaching for their dreams, they look up at the sky and think of Fribbit. They think about the frog who dared to leap higher. So, here's to Fribbit, the frog that leapt to new heights. Here's to the frog that taught us to dream big, to push our boundaries, and to never stop exploring. The name of Fribbit has evolved into a representation of bravery and resolve within the pond. His narrative persists in kindling inspiration and encouragement. He serves as a reminder that no aspiration is excessive, no bound insurmountable. Fribbit's tale stands as evidence of the potency of dreams and the resilience of determination. It narrates the journey of a diminutive frog harboring a monumental aspiration, one that he actualized through his daring leap. Consequently, within a small pond brimming with lily pads, Fribbit transformed into a mythic figure, a frog that soared to unprecedented heights, igniting aspirations of grandeur in successive frog generations. The very hungry caterpillar's journey in an age of yore, within a verdant garden adorned with an array of blossoms resembling a kaleidoscope, rested a diminutive, spherical egg. Serenely positioned upon a leaf, it luxuriated in the gentle embrace of the sun's rays. Concealed within its confines, a minuscule existence was in its nascent stages, poised to unfurl its journey. With the advent of a radiant Monday morn, the egg commenced a gentle dance of wiggles and tremors. From its conch emerged a minuscule and distinctly unique figure. This entity surveyed its surroundings, wide eyes brimming with an insatiable curiosity. The caterpillar's stomach rumbled with hunger. It didn't hesitate and took its first bite of the leaf on which it lay. As the days passed, the caterpillar grew more adventurous and hungry. It crunched through apples on Tuesday, pears on Wednesday, and even feasted on strawberries by Thursday. It ate through oranges on Friday, and by Saturday it was feasting on an assortment of colorful delicacies: cake, pie, sausage, pickle, cheese, lollipop, and salami. The caterpillar was big now, and it had become plump from all the eating. It felt different than before. It was still curious, but also a little tired. It knew the time had come to rest. So, on Sunday, the caterpillar built a small house around itself, what we'd call a cocoon, and snuggled in. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar began to change. It was a long and silent process, but the caterpillar felt safe and protected in its cozy home. Days turned into weeks. The garden bloomed around the cocoon, blissfully unaware of the miracle unfolding within. Then, one fine morning, something stirred within the cocoon. Out of the cocoon unfolded a creature of stunning beauty. It was the caterpillar, but not as it was known before. It had transformed into a breathtaking butterfly. Fluttering its vibrant wings, the butterfly felt a joy unlike anything it had known as a caterpillar. It felt the wind beneath its wings and the freedom to explore without limits. The butterfly started its journey through the garden, dancing from one flower to another. Every color was more beautiful, and every scent was more intoxicating than the caterpillar could have ever imagined. Each day was a new adventure for the butterfly. It met new creatures, discovered new places, tasted new nectar, and enjoyed every moment of its beautiful life. The butterfly was overjoyed. Its heart was filled with gratitude for the journey it had embarked upon, right from the time it was a tiny, hungry caterpillar. As the butterfly fluttered around the garden, it realized that each stage of its life had a purpose: to grow, to transform, and finally, to fly freely. Each day, the butterfly cherished its freedom, the beauty of the world around it, and the joy of discovery. It truly understood the importance of every stage of its journey. One day, while resting on the very leaf where it all started, the butterfly looked back at its past. It remembered the egg, the young caterpillar, the cocoon, and the transformation that occurred. The butterfly realized that every step, no matter how challenging it seemed at the time, was necessary for it to become the creature it was now. It learned that there was a natural rhythm and order to its life, just like every other creature in this world. It was content and grateful for its journey. Each sunset, the butterfly would return to the tree containing the leaf where its life had begun. And each sunrise, it would wake up with renewed energy to live its beautiful life. The story of our very hungry caterpillar, which blossomed into a beautiful butterfly, resonates through the garden. It is a celebration of transformation, growth, and the power of change. It is an affirmation for every creature, big and small, that life is a journey made up of many stages. Each one is essential, meaningful, and filled with its unique beauty. Our butterfly continues to flutter joyfully through the garden, reminding us all of the new beginnings, growth, perseverance, and the wonderful transformations life offers us. So, the next time you see a tiny caterpillar or a dazzling butterfly, remember the very hungry caterpillar's journey. Understand that each stage of life holds its unique gift and purpose. The butterfly spreads its wings, feeling the sun's warmth, relishing the fresh air, and delighting in the garden's beauty. It continues its journey, living each day in joy. Doggy Care Adventure. In a bygone era, nestled within a modest town, resided a lad named Max. Among his many affections, an exceptional fondness for animals, particularly dogs, held sway. Each day would see him traverse the streets of his town, tending to the needs of every canine he encountered. This ritual, as steadfast as the rising sun, wove itself into the fabric of his daily life. His first stop was always at Buster's house. Buster was a big, cheerful golden retriever who always greeted Max with a wagging tail and sloppy kisses. Max would lovingly touzle Buster's gleaming fur, ensuring his comfort, refreshing his water, and engaging in rousing games of fetch. Buster relished the affection and frequently trailed after Max, eager to accompany him on his subsequent endeavors. A playful and energetic beagle who loved to race with Buster and Max through the park. After playing with Daisy, Max would gently brush her coat and check her paws. Daisy adored Max's visits and would wag her tail happily. Following in line was Bo, a leisurely bulldog that held a strong affinity for basking under the sun's warm embrace. Max, attentive as ever, would furnish Bo with delectable treats and lavish scratches behind his ears, an act that unfailingly brought about Bo's contented delight. They would all visit Luna next, a shy and gentle German shepherd. Max would speak in soft tones to Luna to not scare her, and slip her favorite treat under her doghouse door. After Luna, Max and his canine parade would go to visit Tippy, the lively Chihuahua. Tippy would dance around in excitement, making everyone laugh. Max would wash Tippy, give him some food and water, and then they would all continue again. Hearing the pitter-patter of happy paws was Max's favorite sound in the world. Max, Buster, Daisy, Bo, Luna, and Tippy would walk down the street together, making heads turn wherever they went. This was a daily scene in their small town. After their walk, they would go to the town's park. Max would bring a ball and they would all play. It was the highlight of their day. Tippy would try to steal the ball, jumping and yapping. Daisy and Buster would run after him, while Luna watched from a safe distance. Bo, of course, would snooze. Max loved these moments. Despite the chaos and the noise, he wouldn't trade it for anything else. He felt immensely happy when around his canine friends. After playtime, Max would guide his doggy parade back to their respective homes, saying goodbye to each with a gentle pat and a promise to return the next day. As the sun began to set, Max would return home, dirty and tired, but with a happy heart. He looked forward to doing it all over again the next day. And so, day after day, Max would take care of all the dogs in his town. It was a responsibility he cherished, and it brought him fulfillment and happiness. People began to notice Max's efforts. They admired the young boy's dedication and loved how he took care of all the dogs. His actions brought the community closer. They decided to organize an annual Doggy Day to honor Max and his furry friends. It was celebrated with games, treats, and lots of love for the dogs. Max was always the star of the show. He would lead the dog parade, entertain the crowd with tricks, and even judge a Best in Show contest. And at the end of the day, he would proudly walk home with his canine family, their tails wagging happily, knowing Max was living his dream. A dream centered around his love for dogs. A dream that inspired others in his community to love and care for animals. His actions were testament to the saying, kindness begins with understanding. Max understood his doggy friends' needs, and he met them with immense love. He proved that age does not define the impact one can make. Max was a young boy, yet his actions changed his community and brought them together. The story is a light-hearted one, filled with laughter, fun, and a lot of wagging tails. But it also carries a message of love, care, and unity. So, this is the story of Max, the doggy carer, who brought a town together and taught them the joy of caring for animals. And remember, like Max always says, this is the way, the doggy care way.